Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gus. Welcome to the channel. This is the Get Ahead family, and in this channel I share insights on study abroad for international students, starting from your application process down to your admission, funding, settling in the UK, getting a job, excelling as a student, and lots of other content for international students in the UK. So this video, as you have seen from the title, I'm going to be sharing based on popular demand why your UK Tier 4 student visa was rejected and what you should do to avoid your visa being rejected. So in essence, this video is for all those who are going to be applying for UK Tier 4 student visa, or those who already applied and got a rejection. If you got a rejection, it doesn't mean that your visa can never be approved. It only means there are some certain things that you need to put in place before you make that application. So if you're new here, you're welcome. I hope that you stay to the end of this video. I hope that you subscribe before you leave. I hope that the content will be interesting enough for you to stay and join the Get Ahead family. So welcome back to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you so much, guys. Let's get right into this video. There are several reasons why your visa can be rejected. I'm going to just give out a disclaimer here. I don't work with UKVI. I don't work with the Home Office. I don't work with British Council. So please and please, this is just mere recommendations that I'm going to be putting out based on research and information that I've also gathered. I'll be able to share with you guys possible reasons why your visa must have been rejected. When you get your decision letter, if your visa is approved, you'll be given instructions on what to do next. If your visa is rejected, they would let you know why your visa was rejected and what you can do. Okay, from the visa letter, you would know if you should appeal that visa decision, if you should apply for administrative review, or if you should make a fresh application altogether. All of this would be in your decision letter. So please, the disclaimer here is I do not have the power to give out visa. I'm not saying that what I say here is final, because usually rules do change, and I'm not saying that if your circumstances fall into any of the reasons I'm going to share here, that definitely you have to do what I'm going to recommend, or that if you do what I recommend, your visa would be approved. All I'm saying, this video is a guide. It could guide you into doing more research, into correcting errors that you would have made before making your application. So that's the disclaimer. Let's get right into this video. Another reason why people's visa could be rejected is you're unable to convince them that you would return to your country. I'm going to explain this more when I talk about the credibility interview, because this is exactly where you're going to try to explain to them that you're going to go back to your country. So let me move to the next point so that when I get to the credibility interview, I'm just going to explain everything. Now, another very good reason your visa would be refused is if you have violated your previous visa conditions. For instance, you had a visitor's visa to the UK and maybe let's say 90 days, and you overstayed your welcome in the UK. You didn't leave within 90 days. Or you had a visitor's visa that said you are not allowed to work in the UK, and you went to the UK and you started working. Or you did not pay your taxes, or you did not just comply with all the requirements or the conditions in your previous visa. These things would affect you in your next visa application. So you have to be very mindful. When you get a visa to a particular country, read the rules. What are the conditions to this visa? And if you know that you're definitely going to go back to that country, or you're going to apply to go back to even any other country, you need to ensure that you stick to the visa rules. Because if they check your records and see that you have previously violated a visa rule, your visa conditions, you did not comply strictly to your visa conditions, they are definitely going to reject that visa, and they have a good reason, because they don't want a disobedient person, they don't want a stubborn person in their country, they don't want somebody that will not stick to the rules. So please ensure that you always, comply with the conditions of your prior visa, so that when next you apply for your visa, you will be given at the first instance. Now, what people don't know is that their previous travel history can affect their visa outcome. What do I mean? I make a visa application to the US and it was rejected. And then I come to apply for Tier 4 student visa in the UK. And they ask me, which of these other countries have you made a visa application to? And I select US. They ask me, was this visa denied? Was this visa approved or denied? And if denied, what was the reason? I said approved. Or they asked me, in which country have you previously made a visa application to? And I refused to select the countries that my visa was denied. Ladies and gentlemen, let me shock you that this Home Office would do their research. And if they do their research and find out that you had previously applied to a different country and your visa was denied, and you refuse to disclose it in this current visa application, you are likely to be rejected. You have to be sincere. You have to be seen to be credible. You have to front load all information. If you are asked of a certain circumstance, please tell the truth, because they are going to do their background checks. And if they do their background checks and find out that you concealed some information, you did not disclose the full information, you had said half truth and you did not say the other thing, they can reject your visa, and they would say that was the reason. They would say that you're not a credible applicant and your visa should be rejected. So in essence, having your visa rejected in a particular country is not automatic that your visa application will be rejected in another country, but you have to disclose, because these embassies, they have a diplomatic relationship and they can always get whatever information they need, which is why you always have to disclose and state the true state of facts in your country. Another thing is your travel history too. There are some countries that are biased towards the other countries, especially maybe terrorist prone countries. Okay, sometimes your visa could be refused, maybe because you recently visited that country and you did not disclose, or you visited and you disclosed and they don't just feel like it is safe for you to come into their country. That's another reason why your visa may be rejected. Another reason why your visa may be rejected is if you're not able to demonstrate in your documentation that you have sufficient academic requirements for that program. For instance, maybe you're doing a high-level master's degree or an advanced master's degree, which requires more academic experience or more academic excellence to excel in that program. Okay, for instance, there's a normal master's degree, but there's an advanced master's degree. Okay, advanced master's degree is usually shorter and have more workload. Okay, and if the person reviewing your visa application does not see from your previous academic records that you are capable of handling the pressure that is going to come from this course, the person might reject your visa application. In essence, please check your academic background and check exactly what are the requirements for this program, because a particular university might give you the admission simply because they want your money or they feel like you are capable, but the person reviewing your visa application may think otherwise and say, oh, this course is a very high level course and they need very high level individuals, academically driven, blah blah blah, and maybe checking from your records, they are not able to see that. So my advice for you would be, when you check your records, see that your course, the course you choose, is at par with your previous academic records. If they said the entry level is 2-1, maybe you had a 2-1 or equivalent of that, then that works for you as well. So yes, I have heard people say that their visa was rejected based on the fact that the reviewer felt like they did not have the academic capacity to handle the course that they want to go for. So please be mindful of this. Another reason your visa could be rejected is where you have a past criminal record. Okay, doesn't mean that if you have a previous criminal record that your visa will automatically be rejected. No, that's not what it means. It could be a minor crime, it could be a traffic crime or something. But sometimes if this criminal record or if this crime you committed in the past is related to fraud, is related to money laundering or murder or really grievous offense, then your visa may be rejected. So please be careful so that you don't put yourself in trouble. Obey the rules of your country, obey the law in your country, because your previous criminal record would greatly affect the decision for your visa application. So this is very important. You should take it into consideration. If you have a previous criminal record, you should disclose it, because that's a true state of fact. It is not automatic that once you disclose, you will be rejected, because like I said, it could have been a minor crime. Okay, so don't lie, because if you lie, you're going to research and they'll still find out and they'll still reject at the end of the day. So put everything out there and just hope for the best. Now let's talk about the interview. So usually there are lots of rejections that come with for student application solely on the ground that they do not think the candidate is a credible candidate. And what do they mean? During your visa interview application, they're going to be asking you questions. Like I said, I already made a video like this. We talked about visa interview questions and how to answer them. Okay, after you watch this video, please watch that one. I'm going to link it as a card and at the end screen of this video so that you can watch. They're going to ask you questions like, why are you going to the UK? Why did you choose your course? Why did you choose that program? Where are you going to be staying? What is the motivation for choosing the course? And what are you going to be doing after your program? This particular question I just asked you is linked to convincing them that you have ties with your home country. They want to see that you want to go back to your country. Okay? And if in answering that question, they ask you, oh, what are your post-study plans? What are you going to be doing after studies? If you do not give an explanation that traces you back to your country, they'll just say, this one is not going back. So they would say in the rejection letter that you were not able to prove that you're going to return to your country. This means that if your visa expires, that you may not want to go back to your country, and it's a bad thing. Okay, so and every other thing, if you're not able to convincingly answer every other question in your visa application, if there are inconsistencies in your statements, then your visa will be rejected, which is why you should always refresh your memory. Make sure that you go through your documents, go through your cards, and ensure that all the information you provided in your visa application, you say the same thing in your visa interview. You cannot say A and say B in your interview. You cannot say that, oh, upon completion of my program, I'm going to return to my country and work with my government in your visa application. And then during the interview, you say, oh, I'm going to start a business. Yes, you might want to start a business, but there are inconsistencies. You need to be consistent if you must be a credible applicant, okay? So this may be one of the reasons why your visa would also be rejected. Now, there are some times that you make a visa application, you do your interview, and you go to rest waiting for the outcome. And then they may have sent you an email, maybe put a call across or sent an email asking to clarify or explain some things, or querying anything in your visa application. And if you did not see it on time to respond on time, your visa may be rejected. Yes. So when you make a visa application, always ensure that your emails and your phone numbers that you provide in the application is up to date, and you would check your applications, you check your emails regularly to see if they have tried reaching you. Because, for instance, you have 21 working days for your visa to be considered, and then they send you an email, and 3 weeks later you haven't responded. Of course, they are going to reject that application. Okay, especially when they really need you to confirm things or clarify issues before they make that decision. Your visa may be rejected. So always ensure that you provide current email address, contact details that you can be easily reached. And if they ask you any issue, any questions, any queries, ensure that you respond in good time. Like I said before the beginning of this video, there are 1,001 reasons why your visa application may be rejected. What I have said here are just examples of why your visa application may be rejected. It doesn't mean that if you fall into any of these categories that definitely your visa will be rejected. It does not also mean that if none of your circumstances falls into this category that your visa application may not be rejected. Visa applications are considered based on each particular person's circumstances. So do not compare yourself with your friend and say, oh, her visa was rejected, that means mine will be rejected. No, they are going to consider your circumstances and make a decision strictly based on your peculiar circumstance. Usually, if a visa application is rejected, it comes with a decision letter, and in that decision letter, there is a reason that will be stated there. When that reason is stated, they will also let you know if you can reapply for a new visa application, if you can apply for administrative review of that decision, or if you can appeal that decision. When they provide these details for you in that letter, they will also let you know how to go about it. So if your visa decision letter says that you are free to appeal this decision, You will be out of place if you now go and apply for an administrative review, or you just go and start reapplying. Read the reason. Is it sufficient? Because sometimes they may decide erroneously that, oh, this person is not a credible candidate. And you look through your documents and say that I'm definitely a credible candidate. I don't have any inconsistencies in my application. I uploaded this letter explaining all the gaps, all the differences in my documents and everything. And by reasonable standards, I am supposed to be issued this visa because I seem to be a credible candidate. You will be wasting your money if you go and reapply instead of appealing that decision, especially if the decision letter says you have the right to appeal the decision. Usually, most people appeal the decision based on fundamental human rights, okay? So, if you can appeal and you go and reapply for a fresh visa application, then you have waived your right to appeal. You cannot also apply for administrative review and appeal at the same time, or you can't do the three: administrative review, appeal, and then reapply. Because once you start a fresh visa application, they will pause on the earlier one. So it is advisable that if you get a rejection letter, you read through the letter, ask yourself, why was I rejected? What is the reason for rejection? Okay, is this reason valid? Can I make it right in a fresh application? If you can make it right in a fresh application, that means you see that the reasons are valid, so you can make a fresh application correcting the errors. However, if your circumstances are okay, you had explained all your discrepancies or your inconsistency, you had explained it, and you have enough documents to prove your innocence, you can now follow the instructions in the rejection letter. If they say you have the right to appeal or you have the right to administrative review, you can follow those steps and ensure that you wait through it, and when the review, the decision comes back, then you can now know what step to take. Sometimes the decision might come back and the decision is reversed. You might now be given the visa and then you don't have to reapply. Other times, if the decision come back and the rejection has been upheld, then you can now go ahead to ensure that you fix whatever error, whatever issues that was expressed, and then you can now reapply at the appropriate time when you now meet all the requirements. There are also timelines that they are going to state in the decision letter. Sometimes they could say you have 14 days to apply for an administrative review, you have 30 days, and you have to stick to the timelines, okay? If you must get justice for the rejection that you got, you have to stick to the timelines. Before I go, one thing I have to say here is that if you have to make a fresh visa application because the previous one was rejected, you would have to get a new confirmation of acceptance of studies, that's CAS, from your university. Why am I saying this? A CAS number can only be used once to make a visa application. Once you use that CAS number to apply and that visa comes out rejected, and then you need to reapply for a new visa, you will need to contact your university and let them know so they can issue you a fresh CAS. However, if you are applying for administrative review, you will need a fresh CAS. If you are appealing the decision, you will need a fresh CAS. But if you are applying for a new visa, you will need a fresh CAS. Also take note that if your visa is rejected, your university may withdraw your offer that they had already given you. So you need to be very careful. Like I've said in this video, if you watch this video before making your application, you would do well to ensure that you avoid all the errors that I've highlighted and even much more. Do your research so that your visa application will not be rejected, because there's so much cost associated with rejected visa. Because if you already gotten an unconditional offer from a university and your visa application is rejected, your offer might be withdrawn, and that will just cause so much issues already. Because I'm sure that before you make your visa application, you are already almost at the place of just going to the UK to begin your studies. So by the time it's rejected due to one reason or another that especially is within your control, then you'll be dragging yourself back. So please try and ensure that your documentations are correct. If you have any discrepancies, provide affidavits, provide letters to clarify. Your sponsorship letters, upload them. If you're not being sponsored by yourself, the bank statements are not yours. Ensure that they establish a connection in the letter showing why they are the ones funding your program. And if they are living with any person in the UK and the proof of address does not carry your name, ensure that the person also explains why the person is inviting you to stay in the UK, what relationship you guys have, and what duration you are going to be staying with them. Tell them where exactly you're going to arrive when you get to the UK. Know your postcodes, learn your postcodes, understand your course and why, the motivation for your course, why you choose your university, and please prepare, because usually your application form might not have any issues, but your credibility interview might have a lot of issues if you're not able to be outspoken, you're not able to be convincing, you're not able to be fluent, if they're asking you about your program and you don't really have the facts at the tip of your finger. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you've learned one or two things, do well to give it a thumbs up. Let me also hear your experience in the comment section. Do you know anybody whose visa was rejected? Do you know the reason? And do you know how the person resolved the rejection? Do you know anybody who's applied for administrative review and the decision was reversed? Please share in the comment section. You would definitely help people. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do well to subscribe. And if you need like a consulting service, like I said, I don't do visa applications for people. I don't grant visas to people, but we can always guide you. There are professionals who can guide you. I also know of companies who guide people genuinely to make their visa applications and also ensure that your documentation is right. If you need a personal consultation with me, the link to my consulting page would be in the description box to this video. If you need a student accommodation in the UK, the link to book a student accommodation in the UK and other parts of the world is also in the description box. If you need somebody to guide you through the admission process, I also have a link in the description box where you can click, fill in your details, and we can guide you free of charge. Okay, there are so many services. If you need to open an e-bank account in the UK, there is a link in the description box where you can open a Revolut e-bank account. I used it so much and it was very seamless and stress-free. You can click that link and download and register for an e-bank account. There are so many things that you would find in the description box, but if you don't check the description box, you will not know. So please do well to go through the description box so that you check all the services you can get, most of which are for free. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. I hope that this video has been really helpful. Do well to share it to people you know it will be of help to, and watch other videos of mine that would interest you. I have lots of content on the channel. Thank you so much for staying tuned once again, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye bye. Bye bye. And in this video, I want to help you guys. What am I saying? God, help us. We have to start all over again.